All right. Okay, so let's see. Let's say hi to everybody who's already here. Rob, hey, how you doing? We have Jeff from Out of Order Barbecue, or she, yeah, Out of Order Barbecue. Joe, hold on, let's stop that. Joe is here. Darian, how you doing? Everyone, hello. Happy barbecue season, Tony says. So, taste testing number 3. Wanted to, can you hand me that right there, please? Soda. Taste testing number 3. Wanted to say hi to everyone.
Hi.
So before she goes to bed, hey Benji, how you doing? So,
hi Benji.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. Can you turn off the light in the kitchen, please?
Okay.
Thank you. All right. You're sneaking
night.
back. So what's going on? The gang's all here. I'm starting to file in. Okay. Turnaround barbecue. What's your name, sir? Or madam? All right. So Benji says Jeremy. All right. Big Germ. All right. Okay. Quick, before we get to talking about this, Benji, before I forget to mention it, Benji says he's forgotten pans and sauce for him. But so option 1, get the passes. Option 2, don't get the passes. Right? Oh, okay. So my wife has a little dilemma. She's contemplating getting some passes for an amusement park, a local amusement park. And she's trying to decide whether or not she wants to get the passes or not get the passes, right?
Yes, and for how many people?
Oh, and yeah. So getting the passes for 3 people is almost $8 per person. So 8 times 3 is 24. Times 12 is
279.
279 is what it actually works out to be. Getting the passes for 4 people is $6 per. Times 3 is 24, and the end cost is $288. So the $9 difference is basically getting an additional pass. Well, the concern is my wife and I would get a pass, my sons would get a pass, my daughter would not get a pass. But with the passes, you get, the ability to bring friends free. So we're hoping that we'll have enough passes to bring our daughter for free. And she can take the boys and I can take the boys. But the dilemma is whether or not...
What happens when we all go together on a non-friend day?
Yeah. The dilemma... the dilemma is if we all go at the same time, all 5 of us, and we only have 4 passes. And there's not a deal for the friends. So, all right. Yeah.
Oh. I guess the other problem is because taste tester number 3 is so little, she has limited things to do at this park. So I feel kind of paying for a full pass when she can only do maybe a quarter of the things there.
So that's the other problem, which is why we're only considering getting 4 passes as opposed to 5 passes, because taste tester number 3 is so small and can't get on everything just yet. But okay, so Jeremy, hey, what's up? Eric from Barajo Barbecue, get the pasta. Benji says he's forgotten change for bills. Been there, done that. No one is giving us input on our situation.
That's fine.
Barajo says, unfortunately, you've forgotten what I feel you've done the same. Yep. Sean, how you doing? Nah, Baracho, I haven't forgotten about the drums. I've outgrown them because I can cook more efficiently in some of the newer apparatus and newer smokers that I have. with the same results. So the Vicky pretty much took the place of the drums. Me cooking, doing one run in Vicky would be using the same amount of time and charcoal that I would have to use 2 drums for. That was the main reason why I started using Vicky a lot more. Vicky cooks almost exactly like one of the drums, uses almost the same amount of charcoal, but I can get twice as much done in one charcoal basket versus having to split things into 2. So an additional $24 times 12 months is the difference in price for getting 4 or 5. Yeah. So what is that? Run calc 24 times 12. Oh wait. No. So it's an additional $6 per month. So it would be 6 times 5 is 30 times 12.
6 times 5.
Yeah.
I was just doing it one person, which would have been 6 times 12. $6 a month for 12 more months is what that additional person is.
Yeah. There's another $72. Sorry. I was trying to do it the long way. Yeah, I know, Eric. Look, Jeff says, I'd have to say only 4. Yeah, that's kind of... That's where we are right now, too. Trust me, we've been talking about it for the last at least 2 hours, kind of off and on. Exactly, Tony. He said, my kind of girl. Sean, so we were contemplating getting season passes to a local park, right? Local amusement park. And Joe, how you doing? Tyler, I see you. What's going on? So we were quickly, before my wife heads upstairs and I can, really start the live stream, we were having a discussion on trying to determine, and the discussion came up because she said she was going to get 3 passes originally, as opposed to more than 3, and then it would just be her taking the boys to the park. And the problem is the cost for 3 passes is $7.75. The cost for 4 passes, it drops down to $6. So 4 and more, it drops down to $6. So then once we do the math to do the 3 passes versus the 4 passes, the difference is $9. It makes most sense to do the 4 passes. The problem though is if we get 5 passes for everyone in the family, my daughter is still a little too young to get on a lot of the rides. So it would be a little bit of a waste. When you get the 4 passes, you get free friend passes and things like that. So we're banking on getting the friend passes, or we're trying to figure out if it's worth it to just spend an additional $72 and get passes for my daughter as well. So that's what we were talking. But I think we've kind of decided we're just going to get 4 passes. Oh, man. So, Sean, you feel my pain. It's always like families of 4 or 6 or more, that whole families of 5, shout out to families of 5. We get kind of left out. We're the odd, no pun intended, odd ones out. Eric says he went from too small to get passes to not being fluffy friendly. I think I definitely understand that one, dog. Definitely. They, when they put the little thing down and they be like, yeah, I know. I know. All right, so let's see. So who was it? Somebody said they forgot change. I always, there was a story where I took, and I used to carry, I had $50 in change with me, and I went and sold some ribs and some wings to somebody, and their bill came to $40. I had $50 in change. This dude came from DC. He met me and he gave me a $10 tip, and he's like, yo, I have a $100 bill. And I'm like, dang, well, here's your $50 change, right? So then the next delivery I had, He wanted a rack of ribs. Well, dude had two 20s. Well, I only had a $100 bill. I didn't have any change for that $100 bill, so I ended up having to give him those ribs at a discount. So that was early on. Preston! Cheers, my friend. That from early on, I knew that I didn't care hella high water if I didn't have enough change, if I couldn't make change at least, or have change at least for 20 in my pocket, then I was going to stop somewhere and go to McDonald's or go to a 7-Eleven or somewhere, spend $1, break that 20, break that 50, and do whatever was necessary to make sure I had change in my pocket so that I didn't lose out, because I lost $5, and that was my pain threshold, and I didn't want to lose any more. So yeah. Preston, where your kids at, man? PJ and Dino PJ. So, but I mean, I've forgotten things like, you know, it's crazy. I didn't actually forget this, but it got wedged in the backseat of my wife's van. We folded the seat down in order to get, yeah, go ahead and call them. Tell them I want to come. I want to say hi to them before they have to go to bed. I had some barbecue sauce for an event, and the barbecue sauce was, you know, was two like Sweet Baby Ray's things, because they requested Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. PJ, Dino PJ, Dash says what's up. Have a good evening, guys. Go to bed. Go to sleep. But they requested barbecue sauce, and I put the barbecue sauce in the car. The problem is we folded the seats down in order to get the Cambro in the car, and the barbecue sauce was folded in the seat. I found it weeks later, and it was like, what the hell? How did that happen? But I mean, something like that, like it was crazy. And I mean, I tore that van up. I was at an event for the guy Brian at Redline Motorsports. And I'm like, dude, I know I put it in the car. I'm so sorry. He's like, oh, no, it's fine. He's like, you know, I always have you come up early so we can get kind of set up. I had to run to Sam's and get some more barbecue sauce and then come back. And then, like I said, it was a week or so later when we put the seats back up in the back of the van. It was like, oh, there it is. But, I mean, that was an instance where I didn't actually forget it. But, I mean, you know, if you ever lose something in the back of a vehicle or in the vehicle, fold and unfold the seats. Ask me how I know. All right. But there have been other times where I've forgotten things. Like there was a time when I had two events going on the same day, and the sides, I had sides prepared, not prepared, or I had gotten sides for an event, and I had sides for both events, but what I ended up doing was confusing the two. So I had the sides for the afternoon, the evening event with me on the afternoon event, and the sides for the afternoon, or the afternoon event, were at home. I ended up having to run to, it was Walmart. I ended up going in, to get coleslaw, of all things. And I think possibly potato salad, because I ended up having the buns, or not having the bun. Like it was crazy. Like I didn't have the buns, coleslaw, and potato salad for the afternoon event, but I had the macaroni salad or something else that the evening event wanted, and I just confused the two. I had everything, I just confused the two. So things like that are things that, you know, obviously you take better notes, you write things out, you create a checklist. One of you guys recommended a checklist a while back, and trying not to forget things. So like, you know, gloves or lighter fluid, you know, charcoal, enough knives, extra tongs, you know, all those different things. And it's like you have a checklist. Okay, when I'm packing the car going to an event, yep, you know, those are things that you just have to kind of to prepare for. Eric says he lost his gloves and rub in the pouch behind the seat of his truck, and he said he looked for hours. So I'm glad I'm not the only one that puts something, and it's like, I'm gonna put it in this place so I don't forget it, and then that's it. That's it. So Eric, how you doing, man? Hey yo. Jeremy from Turnaround Barbecue says tongs, spray bottle, honey. He said all in the same cook. I guess, how do you forget all of that? Did you just leave it all in the same place and just like walked out? Because I've definitely done that. Ooh. He said, I'm trying to think. Oh, man, I know it's DV Crash. I know I've asked you your name. Is it John, maybe? He said he forgot to soak his beans the night before. He said about every third weekend he does that. Yep, John, it came to me. Tyler, he said, I've got everything in totes and this all comes with you. I use the busboy pans, and I kind of throw everything in those busboy pans and try to keep things all together. I found rub and it was dried out about 6 months later. Man, there's no salvaging that. You know, after it dries out, just there's nothing you can do. We got Eric Moreno in the house. How you doing, man? I feel like it's been a while. T-Rock, what's going on? So tonight we're talking about things that you've forgotten. I talked about a story where I actually put this barbecue sauce that I was asked to bring in the back seat of the van, and I folded it up I folded down the seat in order to get the Cambro in, and it was hidden in the seat for a couple weeks. Nothing much is going on, Eric, man. Glad you could make it and join in. Dead what's the name? That's Ricer from Dead Brook Barbecue. Says he checks and double checks before he heads out the door. So when you forget something that's earth-shattering. Yeah, man, I've had those earth-shattering moments too. And you know, I was trying to instill in my taste tester number 2. I take him to baseball practice, and when we go to baseball practice, we try to leave out so that he gets to baseball practice 5 to 10 minutes early. You know, I tell him, to me, being early is on time, being on time is late, right? So, and he's like, well, why do you do that? And I said, oh, perfect example. I've forgotten warmers, or I've forgotten barbecue sauce, or I've forgotten something. And that 5 or 10 minutes is enough time for me to run into a Walmart or a dollar store or whatever and pick up something I might need. Tyler, that's a good idea. Tyler says he uses a checklist on his iPhone in order to, but then you have to remember to create your checklist. So maybe you just need to create a checklist so everybody, create a checklist now of things that you need, and then you can just add to it as you go on. So, Baracho Barbecue, Eric Moreno. So, Eric Serrano, kind of off topic, had one of my cards. This is our friend. Had one of my. Not give a card. Luke, what are you saying? Had one of my I guess did not. Oh, all right, Lou. Okay, now I get it. He said he had one of his friends, I guess, come to his son's christening and didn't give a card. He said he kind of took offense to it. He's a really good friend and took it as an insult, and he didn't speak to him for 2 months. So I can tell you there are times when I go to events and I do different things, and sometimes that I just forget to take a card or do a card or something like that. But then one of the other reasons too, so why sometimes when I go to events and things like that, I don't necessarily give a card, is because if I have to travel, to come to the event and kind of like spend money to stay overnight or something along those lines, then me being there or being able to come, that says something. I try though. There are times though when I do forget, and then but I understand, man. Man, look, Eric, I understand. You don't have to apologize. I'm just happy you're here now. Yeah. Jeremy, I completely understand. You know, that's a good thing, man. Always be aware of where the Walmarts and the Sam's and the Costco's are in relationship to where your deliveries are. Because, you know, if you need to take a route that goes this way and that way so you can stop at a Costco or a Sam's or something like that, you know, it happens. Chuck said he forgot his cash register one day. Man, that thing should kind of stay in the truck, man. Oh, that's what's up. Hey, Lou said the card was under his passenger seat in his car. He said he said they both felt like dummies, but dude, I mean, he said, man, it happens though. Note section for sure. Kurt, hey yo, how you doing? Ricer, we use Team Snap as well, so I completely understand, and I know, and it doesn't matter. Like the team used to send out notices of when the games were and what color uniform we wore, because we had a reversible for basketball. If you guys notice, for my boys basketball team, there's blue and there's yellow, and it was the Team Snap reminder would go out and it would say, hey, we're in blue today, hey, we're in yellow today, and you know, we're at this time or that time. And there were times when the games would get moved up, or we would have the wrong uniform color, you know, sent out. So I mean, I understand, I know. Basketball is a little different than football because there's far less far less equipment. So yeah. No matter how many times you go over a list, you always forget a lighter. So that's when you have multiple lighters. Like, you know how you can never find duct tape, a hammer, or a screwdriver whenever you need one? That's why around my house, I probably have at least a half a dozen hammers. There's one or two upstairs. There's one or two down here on the first level. There's one in the basement at least. There's more than one in my garage, you know, like a ball peen hammer or a straight regular drywall type hammer. And then, you know, I have sledgehammers and stuff like that. So something as simple as a lighter, man, you need to start stashing lighters everywhere. Eric Nation for sure. It's the return of the Erics. Eric, I'm not sure about when I'm going to be competing again. I was talking to someone about competition, and I was honestly going to do a live stream talking about competitions again. But Eric, I know you were one of the people, the proponents that brought up the SCA event in the past. And I went back and forth with this gentleman about competitions, and I haven't given up. But, you know, I told him, I said, you know, what it boiled down to was I know what type of barbecue I like to make, and I know what competition barbecue is. And those two things didn't necessarily align. I told him that I said, you know, not verbatim, I said it could have been me channeling my inner green eggs and ham, and I just didn't want to do it. But I tried it, and I did not like it. So I can at least say that I tried it. Now, did I try a real competition where I had to do multiple meats? No, I just did the SCA event. So I kind of skirted the system there. Hey, Warrior 57, how you doing? So Jeremy says foil pans, always make sure to buy in bulk. Now, oh man, dude, I can tell you there are times when I will be cooking and I don't have enough pans to take food out of the smoker. So I definitely know the struggle there on that one. Definitely. Never program to in the idle prices, battery backup memory, but I bring. All right. Oh, okay. Now, well, Chuck, I get that. Yeah, well, Kirk says, let's take a moment to, let's not forget to hit that like button. He said, y'all give this man his props. Thank you very much. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up. It not only helps out these live streams to get more traction, it just makes me feel good. All right. At one time, I forgot my lunch at home, left work to get it, fed the dog when I was there, returned to work again without his lunch. I think we've all done stuff like that where you know how you have that point of no return, that point, you know, where you're like, oh, I'll just go ahead and bust a U-turn and go back home. Well, I know for sure I've done the same thing where I will leave out and there's about 2 blocks up is where I hit the first light. And if I get past that light, it's like, do I really want to turn back around? Because then if I get stuck in the light and then on the way back out, I get stuck in the light again, that's like 4 minutes of my life I'm never getting back. So it's like, if I get past that light, I'm probably just going to say screw it and go head to work. And usually, or every now and again, and I can probably count on one hand how many times I forgot my badge to get into the building is. The problem is I'm one of the first people in the building. So when we used to have security in our building 24/7, we don't any longer. So if I forgot my badge, I could just walk in through the front door, and all of the guards knew me. You guys know my personality. I speak to everybody, so they all knew me, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you know, come on in, blah blah blah. Here's your badge of shame, you know, so you can get around the building." But now, because we don't have 24/7 access, and I'm the first one in, I have to wait until the next person comes in at about 6:30. And then hopefully they come in and they're not like working from home or off that day, because the next person doesn't come in until about 6:45, 7 o'clock. And I'm just sitting in the parking lot twiddling my fingers. So been there, done that. Yep. Duct tape, hammers, screwdrivers. You can never have too many. Eric says he's the electrician that can't find electrical tape. Lou says he always forgets the lighter in his buns. How do you forget your buns, man? Oh, man. When in April, Kirk, I saw you talking about that. But I don't know. Oh, May. You gotta find out when in May. I'll look it up. Backyard friend comp is what I stick to. It's more for fun. Yes, exactly. T-Rock says he never forgets the bruise and the crown. Chris P. Bacon. That is hilarious. Hold on, let's just take a time out to you know, recognize that, you know, that's one of those where I don't know whether I'm getting trolled or that's really your name. So I'm going to err on the side of caution and not just be like, oh, wow. But it's Chris P. Bacon. Yeah, I like it. Always put, yep. If you are remote, always a 5-gallon bucket of water to clean up. I have taken water with me in the past. But you know what I'm actually starting to think about taking more often than not with me? Is a place to put ash from the grill. So sometimes I could be like, if I'm at a state park or something like that, luckily they have grills there where I can kind of scoop the ash into that grill at the state park and then not have to worry. One of the times I was out at a state park or something, I ended up scooping the ash out of my grill into one of the grills that was there, and I took some of the food and put it on top of that grill, and the person, the coordinator, the organizer, whoever, was very grateful that I had the wherewithal to think about trying to keep her food warm while I was on my way out the door. Hey, Lou says when you have to foil something, you have like a half a sheet left. Oh, man. Dude, I'm telling you, best investment ever. Go to Sam's, go to Costco, get those industrial size rolls of aluminum foil. I used to have 3 of them around the house almost at all times. I would have one in my kitchen, one out in the garage, and I would have one that was the backup in case I ran out of foil. I kind of stopped doing that because the price of those foil things has gone up. It used to be about $20 for one of those things. Now it's closer to $25, and just for it to be sitting somewhere. Yeah. So T-Rock, there is a KCBS event in Waldorf, is what Kirk was saying. Thank you, Curtis, very much. Chow Down Barbecue and Home Cooking. Thank you so very much for watching. checking in from Georgia. JB, how you doing? And Eric posted some emojis of bacon. So Kirk says it's pork in the park. It's at Regency Furniture Stadium. Preston, I did some pork belly over the weekend. It turned out pretty good. Kirk says he's thinking about wanting to try competing this season. Good luck with that. Maybe just one. Because then we can kind of supplement it. Or are you thinking two? Okay. Yep. So John, I don't use butcher paper. I just rather and you know, one of the reasons why I don't use butcher paper is because when you use butcher paper, you still have to pick everything up and then take it with you. Because my smokers are so far away from my house, it's easier for me to put things in foil pans. So that's why I put things in foil pans when I'm cooking and transporting things. Harry, so this is another one. I know though that this is your actual YouTube name because you come and you hang out. His name is Harry Nutsack. So he are your friends around? Because I know one time you were like, hey, can I get you to say my username so my friends could get a laugh out of it? All right, that's what's up. All right. DC, you have the barbecue. So, we've been down to that DC barbecue cook-off once, and that was well before I started doing barbecue. For Saturday gathering, should have cut the brisket Friday and warming another one Saturday. Or I would say, what I would recommend is if you're planning to cook it on, and all right, so. I know, Eric, you've been around, but I'm going to try to answer this quickly for you, but we're going to try to stay on topic the first hour. Okay. If I know that I'm going to be cooking ahead of time, I keep the brisket whole. I'll warm it up enough to knock the chill off of it. I'll slice it up then, and then I will finish warming it up. So I'll probably put it in the oven at 250 to 300 degrees for maybe about a half an hour just to knock the chill off of it, and it'll make it a lot easier to trim. I'll cut it up, separate it, wrap it tightly, and then I'll put it into the oven to finish warming. All right, let's see. Caden, how you doing, man? I'm looking at buying a plastic laundry sink to pull out and attach to a garden hose for rinsing and cutting boards and utensils to stop the wife from getting upset about the kitchen. My wife is within earshot. I almost didn't finish reading that one. But Eric, I don't know if you heard her. Yeah, my wife. Only problem is I don't have when you use the garden hose, there's not hot water. So you can't really wash anything with that unless you can have a hookup like from a slop sink or something, and you can turn the hot and the cold on and then run it out to the to your slop sink outside. I guess. Growing up in my basement, we had a slop sink. It would be nice if only problem with that though is you'd be limited to the things that you could allow to go down the drain because it will probably clog things up. With the fact that I do things in my kitchen, can we get a cameo from Mrs. Dash? She's. All right, that's it. She says hello.
Hi.
All right, this is Lou Calamatis. All right, he likes that I can pronounce his name. His name is Calamatis. Good in Greek. How much Windex you got around? He said, "Hey yo, Mrs. Dash." Yep. So he said, Eric. He said he's gonna be attaching it to his washer and dryer hoses. Then yes. Only word of caution is making sure that nothing too big goes down the drain so that you don't have any issues. When I started to say before I was asked for a cameo from the Peanut Gallery is when I wash things in the sink, there's a garbage disposal, and it helps with making sure that no big clumps or anything like that goes down the drain. As far as food particles, Lots of Windex, and he never forgets the spoon. I did not see, Kaden, your joke. Is it on Instagram? Or P. Adams says, hey, Ayo. So P. Adams is the guy who's talking about having his son be on number 2's basketball team because his son is the same age as number 2, so he can come to the basketball banquet next year. All right, Kaden, let me look up like 4 comments. Kaden says 95% of all 4s are still on the road today. The other 5% made it home. Thanks, Kaden. As always, he's a hater. He comes specifically to comment on how 4s are found on the road dead. Mm-hmm. Okay, Kaden. But you know the problem with Kaden is he has this what is it? A Chevy 1500 that gets like 8 miles per gallon, and yeah, his diesel can't. I mean, his gasoline truck couldn't, you know, pull its way out of a wet paper bag. Versus, you know, my nice 6-liter. Oh, excuse me, it's a 2500, so he could technically tow another 1,000 pounds probably. But it's still a gasser, Caden. Sean's got an F-150. Okay, you have a 6-liter. Brian Bell, hold on, Brian. How you going? You ain't said nothing the whole evening. Then you gonna come and say that his joke was funny? Come on, son. You gotta at least say hi first before you start insulting me and everyone else in the room by laughing at Caden's jokes. You must. I won't say. Yeah, I know you co-signing. Oh, now you want to say hi. You know, you're funny. Nope. The 6-liter isn't junk if you take care of it, man. It takes some work, but that's anything. What did the ocean say to the plane? Smoking Barrel Barbecue, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome to the house party. Preston, don't co-sign on Caden's jokes. Don't do that. Don't do that. I lied, you know, Preston. We were on a happy. He said, "What did the ocean say to the plane?" What did the ocean say to the plane?
What did the ocean say to the plane? I don't know.
Nothing. It just waved. Boom, boom. Eric says the 6-liters last as long as you don't drive them. Thanks. Jeremy says he's a 4 guy, never had any problems. Only Chevy he ever owned didn't make it a year before it started having, not having, but baving problems. You know, it didn't even have problems. It baved the problems. Mean bowl of cereal. Oh, Caden, hold on, baby. Caden makes a mean bowl of cereal. He just told me he made a mean bowl of cereal this morning. What kind of cereal was it, Caden? Caden's in high school. This is all about knowing my audience. Caden's got more time for his guns and his duck hunting though, because he doesn't have a girlfriend anymore. I tell you. Caden says Fords pull really well. You can't even feel them behind the Chevy. Look. Jeremy says he had Fruit Loops. Nope, Caden said they were Frosted Flakes. Hold on. He said that was cold. That he has more time for shooting and duck hunting because he didn't have a girlfriend. As many jokes as you talk about Ford. What? That wasn't cold. That's real life, man. Quester J, how you doing, man? Quester J has some health issues, and he's back hanging out. Then he fell and hurt himself again. But I'm glad to see Quester J makes it onto the live streams, and that's what's up. I greatly appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Caden, I speak the truth, man. Question J says he's old. Are you frail too? It just keeps getting broken. All right. Yeah, man, Lou. Shoot, don't front or don't sleep on the Frosted Flakes, right? Yo, Frosted Flakes are the jam. Definitely. All right. So what? He said I can buy anything I want. Oh yeah, because you don't have a girlfriend now, Caden. All right. So what are some other things you guys have left behind or have forgotten? You know, like I said, I remember I've forgotten, you know, different sides, and I told you I forgot that barbecue sauce, and I didn't forget it. It was just lost in the vehicle. Eric said he can relate. Luke Alamada said he was mad at his friend because his friend didn't give him a card for his son's christening, and then he found the card like a month later, or a couple of months later, and they both felt like idiots. I get it. So somebody else said, Kate said he forgot his girlfriend. Kirk says he forgets his work phone regularly. Right, forgot. Yo, Preston, way to bring that one up. I forgot the chicken in the Cambro, and yeah, it was rancid. Yes. Oh, funny. Yeah, go ahead. So Eric, who was talking about the slop sink and his wife was getting mad about, she's getting ice right now, so sorry. He says his wife forgot their anniversary. My wife has forgotten our anniversary too. I can relate.
Are you just a lie?
Nah, the last anniversary she forgot.
I didn't forget all day. I remembered later on in the day.
So basically, she forgot.
No.
She forgot. You know how you round up? She forgot more than 50% of the day. You round up to the whole day. Right or wrong? So, right or wrong? Who agrees with me?
It was still the same day.
Look, comment right down below. Preston, don't remind me about that chicken again, all right? Never again. We will never talk about that again. He's not hating. He said, who seems like a Captain Crunch guy? Me or Caden? T-Rock. Look, they're like ice, baby. Jake, what's going on, man? Jeremy said he's forgotten his own birthday. Oh, Kirk is funny. So Kirk is the guy who I took the food to down in Lithicum. Mm-hmm. Kirk says, Dash keeps forgetting to tell us his brisket and lamb rubs. I sure do. You know what? Tomorrow's video, I'm going to re-edit it right now. Barrage. He says nothing worse than forgetting the invites. Look, I'm right. There's another right. Question J, he's smart. He says wrong while your wife is there, but once she leaves, yep. I added that last part. He didn't say that. Look, Preston says round up. He's like, yep. Eric says 12:01 p.m. You're out. Don't get on her side. Like, just P. Adams says she was busy. No, she wasn't. She wasn't too busy.
I was working.
Right. Versus when you know you have something to go to and use it or something. Yep. Oh man. Yes. I have that problem all the time because, you know, different seasonings or different sauces or just like different food stuffs, you know, nothing like saving something and then coming home and then not being here. Yeah. Jay, I understand, man. So Chauncey, tonight we're talking about things that you've forgotten, either while you're cooking, before you're cooking, you know, just things you've forgotten. People you've forgotten?
No, one of your people.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about people, too. I'm only talking about Caden, though, because he always says jokes about my forward. So, you know, every now and again, we're going to jump on Caden. Yeah. Free beer tomorrow. Sure, yep. I didn't forget to shave, man. Well, wait, I shave my head every couple days. God, this. The one-time cop got rear-ended. Wait. So did he rear-end someone at the Sonic drive-thru, or was he rear-ended at the Sonic drive-thru? Here we got. No. So Tay, what I have found out is there is a limitation on the recording, the single. How do I say it? It cannot record for longer than 29 minutes consecutively. So it was through no fault of my own. My older camera, I could set it up, and as long as there was storage and battery, it was fine. This event was less than an hour, or what I would have recorded would have been less than an hour, and yeah, it didn't work out. So Jay says he forgot to grab beer. Yep. Question J said when he was young, he backed into a cop at a Sonic. He got one cop and he hit someone. Oh my gosh. He said he did it. He said they only have one cop in their little town and he hit somebody. Question J says he always forgets the honey-do list.
That must be contagious.
It is. It's a male trait. Caden says he forgot his girlfriend again. Chauncey's cracking up. Question Jay's laughing too. Oh man, see, this is why, you know. Yeah, I you know. Woo. So what else have you guys forgotten? Again, either like before you cook, like I've forgotten. Oh man, there was one time I forgot seasoning, like, and it was a pivotal. It was a pivotal ingredient in my rub that Kirk wants to know about so badly, and I ended up having to go. And you know what's funny? You know how I said when you're on your way to a delivery and you need to know where the Costco's and the Sam's and Walmart's might be on and or around your route, you also need to know where the 24-hour supermarkets and or the 24-hour Walmarts are. So when you start your cook at 3 o'clock in the morning and you have to run out to go get, you know, a piece of seasoning, I think, Kirk, you remember when I posted that Instagram post? Was that you? Somebody replied and posted on Instagram, you know, when I was talking about it. But yeah. Lou, I'd imagine they would be. You know what? Like, you and I would be friends. Our wives probably would get along too. You know, this you know what I mean? It's like that whole kindred spirit type thing. You know, like you and I would be friends again, and then, you know, her and your wife they'd probably be sitting in the corner.
That's the face I make? That's the face I make?
And us to death. And us to death.
Good to know.
Uh-oh. Kirk says, Caden, you can have his. She drives a Chevy. Y'all get along. Caden says, Kirk, you better keep her. She's a good one. Nah, she just had bad taste in vehicles. I know why, you know. Eric says, I know why you don't have videos of the back of your head, because I'm sure there's a handprint of your wife's on the back of my head. Yep, Kurt said, I have a really good memory when it comes to stuff like that. You know, that was a little while ago, though. Chauncey says that part. Brian Brown says that is bi-coastal. It sure is. Again, the male trait is to forget the honeydew list, and the female trait is the Brian says it sounds like his wife. This is why she needs to be upstairs in bed. Usually what? That's why. Okay, so the real reason. She said she's
You're not getting a pass.
No more passes. Lou says, yep, I know that face very well. See, Mom. Okay, does your wife speak in facial expressions? My wife does. And look, she's cracking up because it's true. It's true. It's true. Look, yep, see? It's true. See? She needs to be on more. Look, Lou says, oh yeah, the with the arms crossed, no bueno, my friend. Chauncey says body language too. Yeah, I don't even have to read the body language. It's all in her face. Like, you should see the face she's making now.
No, don't. Something to be said for transparency and honesty.
Something to be said about transparency and honesty, she says.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. T-Rock, that's funny. So Kirk asked, how did the pork belly? I didn't forget the video. It's just I don't always put a video out for everything. I don't.
I didn't say anything. I truly did not say anything.
Yeah, she didn't say anything. It was her face again. He doesn't put a video out for everything. He puts a video out. Quiet. I'm filming.
Why are you picking on me?
Because you're here. At least I'm picking on you while you're here, and while you're not. Lou says, "What a wonderful live stream." Katie says, "Why do ducks have feathers?" To cover their butt quacks. Caden, thank you for being a levity that we all so much needed. Look, Jeremy says it's live in here tonight. Yes, we are live, for sure. Going on 30 years with his wife, and he says no. Oh man, shoot. Questa J says he's going on 30 years with his wife, and he says I know her look and when to run. Shoot, I'm working on 15. It'll be 15 years for us next month that we've been married. Ask her when our anniversary is.
Don't start. You know, I don't know that stuff.
See? Hold on. Somebody said something that... Oh, so how did the pork belly turn out that I forgot the video? Because we got distracted with your face because you... Yeah. Yeah. How did it turn out?
It turned out good. Yeah, I guess.
Did you like it? Did you not like it? I didn't have any, so I need your opinion.
I love pork belly all the time, so pork belly's my thing. I'm a bacon girl, so yeah, it was delicious.
So she didn't actually, she wanted it crispier, so she actually took it, the couple slices I had, and she put them in the skillet and crisped them up a little more like bacon. So you're supposed to be in bed, number one. Yeah.
What you need?
It was pork belly. I know. Yeah. Question for hour 2. What's your best method for? Oh yes, Lou. I haven't forgotten about that. I did, but I knew you would bring it up again. My wife is outside when I get off work. Eric from Baracho Barbecue says, if his wife is outside when he gets off work and he drives by and has that look, and she has that look, he just keeps on driving and he goes and gets flowers.
Well done.
Well played, sir. Well played. Lou says he's cracking up at the why do ducks have feathers joke.
That was cute.
Oh, Brian, I know. It eventually. Caden, thank you. When is what? It's coming. Ceviche, I love ceviche. I don't know about making ceviche. Yeah, but so my wife, and the whole thing with the pork belly was my wife found, or we were, who was it, Costco or Sam's?
Costco.
We were at Costco and we found a whole pork belly, and it was like discounted. It was on sale. So I got it, brought it home, sliced it up into 3 pieces, and then put it in, vacuum sealed it, put it in the freezer. So over the weekend, I actually was trying to clean out the big green egg. You guys know I haven't been cooking as much on the big green egg since I've gotten Tracy Traeger. So can you guys thank my wife for getting Tracy? Just say thanks. It was all her doing. And I definitely use, you guys know I use that grill a lot. And I was cleaning the grill, and you know, basically my wife and my son, taste test number 1, were like, "What are you cooking?" I'm like, "Nothing. I'm just trying to clean the grill." And they're like, "Well, since the grill is on, can you cook something?" I'm like, "I wasn't planning on cooking anything. I was just trying to, you know, clean the grill out, kind of like you self-clean an oven. You just turn it on and get the heat up and burn it out." But because of the fact that it smelled good, they were like, "No, you need to cook something." So then he brought me the pork belly, and I cooked it from frozen. So I'm glad I didn't do a video, because now when I do it again, I can do a video and then perpetrate like it was the first time of me doing it. Yeah. Except you guys who are on the live stream will know that it wasn't. Kaden, that's funny. She's a bacon girl. Yep. Kirk is funny. He says she's a bacon girl. Man needs to be making that homemade bacon for her. He says spare her the turkey bacon. Tell him that when you get the right turkey bacon, it is delicious.
Turkey bacon is not pork bacon.
Gosh.
Sorry.
Yep, Brian, I am a smart man. Alright, well, the anniversary. Oh, look. She doesn't know when our anniversary is.
I do. And this is why it's engraved in my ring.
And she looks in the ring to define. What's the date?
The 30th of May.
Are you sure about that?
I am.
Are you sure?
That's my final answer.
You positive?
Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
And I'm right, ain't I? Have some faith in your girl.
Caden says, Eric from Barajo Barbecue says, best stream so far. He said his wife is losing it right now. She said now she doesn't feel like the only one. No. But guess what? You know, we have these same conversations where it's like, am I the only one where insert something she does?
Or he does.
We're not talking about you right now. All right, so Caden says, what did the lion say after he ate the clown? What did the lion say after he ate the clown?
Just give it to me. Go ahead. What
that tasted funny.
I know that. I was supposed to say that.
Look, he said, oh, the look is a live stream all by itself. It's truly a phenomenon. Lou says, I love turkey bacon. He agrees with me.
Turkey bacon has its place in the world, and that's second to pork.
Katie says, I like that bacon makes your blood sugar go up. Okay, maybe if it's maple bacon or like brown sugar or something.
I don't need that fancy stuff, just plain bacon.
Oh man, come on, Eric. We were vibing there. Now he says, gotta be the man to bring home the real bacon, not the turkey bacon. It died?
It died before I did it.
Your plug is right behind you.
No, it's not. Oh, no, it's not.
It is. Oh, yeah, but
not plugged in
that, yeah, whose fault is that?
I had to work in the front room. It was sunny.
Here, you want to plug it in from here?
Plug it into this orange joint, right?
Yeah. If it's plugged in.
Okay, I'll go plug it
in. So Chauncey, how many times have I forgotten my wife? Unfortunately, she does not allow me to forget her. Even when drunken, she does not allow me to forget her. She's unforgettable in every way. Where's the record? Where's my record scratch sound effect? Spinoff. Ayo, Mrs. Dash.
So, that used to be my name, remember?
Yo, yeah, it's just, shoot. My nickname Dash has been with me for 20 years. And when I rode in my motorcycle club, she was definitely Mrs. Dash. And, you know, there were no... It was a joke. It was funny, but it was true because she was Mrs. Dash.
And I had my own bike.
And she had her own motorcycle, yes. So Chauncey says, you like cooking from frozen or let it thaw then cook? So it depends. If I have the wherewithal to take stuff out and let it thaw out, then I'll thaw it. If it's an impromptu, hey, let's cook something for X, Y, and Z person or something for right now, then I'll cook it from frozen. I was genuinely concerned, if you will, about the pork belly. But the pork belly, again, I cooked it at a lower, slower temperature until it thawed out. So usually I'll cook it low and slow for the first hour. Or I'll cook anything from frozen low and slow from that first hour. And then I'll crank the heat up or I'll do whatever needs to be done to try and finish it. And I'll kind of just play it by ear and see what happens. But for the most part, I do thaw things out. Cadence says turkey bacon's places in the trash. Ooh. How do I block someone? Oh, look, Kirk backed him up and says at the same, basically right back behind him, says turkey bacon's places in the garbage. It's not turkey bacon, it's just sliced minced up turkey. And I mean, I like Scrabble. That's minced up pieces that don't go in hot dogs. I'm not reading that, Brian. Yep. So Lou says, I don't eat turkey bacon to substitute real bacon. He's like, it's like I want turkey bacon or I want bacon. I get that. So T-Rock, I had a my first motorcycle was a 1992 Yamaha FZR 600. So yeah. And she had it was Ninja. the Ninja, the Kawasaki Ninja 250. The bacon strips commercial. Yum, it's bacon. I get it myself, but he doesn't have thumbs. That commercial. Tyler says when we have venison bacon made, and he said it's pretty good stuff. He said it's pretty good stuff. Gotta find a comment. I got a text message. He said, but he still prefers the real stuff. The other day, buddy of mine wanted his stuff removed, so I hooked up. Something gas and pulled the country across the state line, county across the state lines. Right, that 6-liter gasser you have. Sure. Bacon is made from the belly, so show me a turkey belly. Kirk, so we're not going to get into specifics on how. So when a mommy turkey and a daddy turkey love each other, they make turkey bacon. All right. T-Rock says scrapping eggs is off the hook. Yes. He said Kirk says his first bike was an 87 Yamaha VARIERA 750. Nice. I'm going to make bacon from scratch. Busy if you about using the sodium nitrate and had that conversation. Yes, we have had that conversation before. So, actually, Kirk has made bacon recently. And, Kirk, feel free to expound upon that. Caden says his first bike was a 10-speed Huffy. Question J said he had an 81 RM250. Goodness, that sounds like a dirt bike. I think I'm going to try my luck with some pork belly burnt ends on his next cook. Well, Jeremy, excuse me. That's what's up, man. So I'm just going to tell you now, I might remember your name this particular live stream, but it's going to take a couple live streams. So you're going to have to come back, comment a lot, Tell me what your name is, and then I'll try to remember it. All right. So we are in hour 2. Usually the first hour we try to talk about the topic. Hour 2 it's kind of a, I'm gonna say no holds barred, but we kind of talk about anything. So Lou says his first and only bike was a '01 Gixxer 750. Man, I could not get comfortable on a Gixxer to save my life. I've ridden Gixxer 600s. I've ridden the 750. I read the leader Gixxer. I just couldn't get comfortable on it, man. That seating position just had me raked over. It was almost like riding a Ducati. Okay, yeah. I just couldn't. Turnaround barbecue is Jeremy. Yes. Yeah, P Adams told me what his name is, and I forgot. I'm just gonna sip on my orange soda and rum. I'm sorry, I forgot. Why did the chicken go to KFC?
Why?
To see a chicken strip. Kate, are you looking up these jokes, or are these just your like go-to jokes? He's on a roll tonight. I have to give credit where credit is due. He said he makes so much. He used the pink salts, 1 color, 2 preservatives, 3, and it doesn't taste the same without it. Yeah, man. So Deborah Barbecue, he is Ricer, all right. But his last name. Oh no. I guess his last name is Rice, right? But he goes by Ricer. His first name is Jeff, but when his channel name originally came up, it came up as Jeff Rice, and I would call him Jeff Rice, like all together. And yeah, so he was Jeff Rice. So his kids got a kick out of me calling him Jeff Rice when they would hear me talking about him or to him on a live stream, to the point where he's like, "That's funny. He ran your name all together. You're Jeff Rice." So, but he's Jeff Rice. Mm-hmm. So, but now that I know Deborah Barbecue is just Ricer, I try to remember that. I'm getting better with some of these names. Oh man, Brian Brown says his first bike was a BMX Mongoose. Man, I had a GT Performer back in the day, with the mag wheels, the composite mag wheels. Brian says his first bike was a BMX Mongoose, and he said they can't remember how many times he fell off. That he basically said he fell off enough times that he knew he never wanted a motorcycle. Yeah, I learned the hard way. I remember calling my wife like, "Hey, I need you to come and get me." Or actually, it was like I called her to say, "Hey, I just went down on the bike," and she's like, "No, you didn't." She's like, "You sound too happy." I said, "No, that's like the adrenaline running through my veins or whatever." Because yeah, I'm like, I fell here, scraped up my arm. Like we had just gotten an apartment together. I scraped up my arm like bad, and she didn't believe me. She's shaking her head no. Lou says, I forgot what the original topic was. I see what you did there. That was funny. We were talking about forgotten things. Oh, that's cute. Oh, Eric, I know. All right, well, yeah, Jay is Jeremy as well. So, yeah, I didn't know Jeremy was Jeremy until he placed the order for a shirt. And then I realized when he gave me his mailing address, his name was Jeremy. I mean, I always thought Jay was short for Jason or something else that starts with J, like Jeremiah or Jasper. But it's Jeremy. So now that I know that, because I sent him a shirt. So who else needs a shirt sent out, and then I can get your real name? Yeah, all right. I'm not getting a Street Glide, man. Only thing Harley Davidson is good for, T-shirts. D. Wayne Harper, how you doing? Kaden, that's hilarious. Oh, son, these Jeremy's thinking about Pearl Jam song. Which Pearl Jam song? I'm not going in there because I don't want to get that one live stream where we talked about music and I started playing music. I got copyrighted. Mushroom says to the bartender, "Hey, I'm not a plant." I'm a fun guy. See, it's all about the timing. You gotta have comical timing. All right? Thanks, Jeff. Thank you. Turn around, pork belly, burnt ends are a gift from the heavens. Oh, horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, "Why the long face?" Yeah.
Okay.
Was a rup. What is a rup? He said he's so old his first bike was a rup. I don't even know what that is. I low-sided. Actually, no, I take that back. So when I was going, the whole thing was where I was going was an underpass to go, under the highway rolled over. So it was an underpass and there was dirt in the road. So the front tire, of course, target fixation, and I'm like, I see the dirt there and I'm like, hey, here's the dirt. Guess where I'm going? And I went right to the dirt and I felt the front end slide down. Of course, I had been riding a bike for less than 2 months. There's only two types of riders. Those that have been down and those that haven't been down yet. All right? So I'm like riding along and I see the dirt and I'm like, oh, look, dirt. And then I grab a handful of the front brake and of course I slide and then it catches once I get out of the dirt and then I come over the top side. Now I didn't high side in the, get thrown from the bike, but I high sided in the fact that I came up and over. But yeah, it was like I was on a highway and there was 2 lanes of traffic, and I tell you, I've never hopped up so daggone fast. Where it was is there's a, like I said, it's an underpass, so it's a wall on either side, 2 lanes. I went down, slid, and then came up and over. And when I finished rolling and sliding, I popped up and stood up against the wall like this, and I looked back where traffic was, and the car behind me, thank goodness, slowed down to the point where he didn't hit me or my bike. The guy that was in that car actually helped me pick up my motorcycle because my pride and my arm was hurting. He helped me pick up the motorcycle. He helped me push it to the top of the underpass, and then I put the kickstand up, and then I called one of my mom's friends. And I was like, dude's name is Dennis. I'm like, yo, Dennis, I just went down on the motorcycle. I'm here. He's like, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Hung up. My man was there in 9. And the next call was to my now wife. And I'm like, so yeah, I just laid the bike down. She was like, what? I'm like, I crashed on the motorcycle. And she's like, no, you didn't. You sound too happy. I'll never forget those words. She's like, you sound too happy. She's like, you didn't. You're lying. I'm like, no. I got home that afternoon, because Dennis, he took the motorcycle to his shop, and then he took me home, and took me to where our apartment was, and yeah, they kept the motorcycle at this shop, and then they did the repairs for me. And I don't know. I think he might have taken me back to my mom's house because that's where my car was. But nonetheless, I got home and I had road rash all on my shoulder. I had scraped and my pinky was all messed. I had rocks underneath my pinky. It was not a good look. She's remembering
changing your bandages.
Changing the bandages, and I was just about to say the road rash was like a 3rd-degree burn. It was not pretty. Jeremy's spoken. Nope, not playing. No any music tonight. Mini bike. They also made snowmobiles back in the old days. Yeah, well, Jeff is up in, is it Wisconsin or is it Michigan? He's up in the middle of the contiguous U.S. Arctic Circle. Never went by Jeremy because in Spanish is said Jeremiah. So in church his name was pretty big. So you say J to avoid the whole Jeremiah. Yeah, well. All right, Kaden, I had to screen that one before I read that one out loud. So Kaden says, this doctor called this guy and said, I have bad news and I have worse news. The guy says, okay, well, I'll have the bad news. He says, what's the bad news? She said, you have 24 hours to live. She's like, all right, well then, what's the worst news? She's like, I forgot to call you yesterday. Okay, I've heard that one before. Crazy story. This is a wild one as well, if you gotta share it. But yeah, man, Lou, definitely. Shoot, I could, yeah. Jeremy? He says, so Jeremy says he's Spanish too. He says, funny listening to his mom try to pronounce his name with an accent. Last year, total 15 luxury cross country tour, ran by dump truck, ankle surgery, and off work for 5 months. Road rash does in fact suck. And Jeff is Wisconsin. I knew it was. I couldn't remember if it was Wisconsin or Michigan. I can't remember everything, guys. I can't. Not everything. Big root went to the front spokes. He said, I flew about 20 feet in the air, just knocked out. Wow. Jeez. Question J, man, dude. Like I said, I was lucky that I went down where I went down. Not really, but yes. Brian says Road Rash was a great game on PS1. Yes, it was. It was a great game in arcade. Let's see. Quest J says he was racing a friend on his new trail and the big root went into the front spokes. He said he flew about 20 feet in the air. He said it just knocked the wind out of him. That's when you could tell when you were young. No problem, Lou. Don't worry. German with a Spanish twist. Caden says one time he had an old truck hood and he was pulling it behind a four-wheeler and he fell off and got hella road rash. I can imagine. That just does not, like, road rash, once you have it, it's like one of those things where you have that life experience, you need not apply a second time. Definitely. You do anything you can to try to avoid it. I slept about 24 feet in a jacket. Shoot, man. Lou, I know. I went down in a t-shirt and a book bag. The book bag saved my back, but the t-shirt did not save my arm. I used to have, like, scars. Like, you could see the skin, like, where it was discolored. But it's been almost 20 years since I've been down. Well, 20 years since I went down that time. Let's put it that way. We would ride. Of course, man. I can understand that. Kate says they would ride on the hood while someone pulled you. No. She had a Ninja 250. The Kawasaki Ninja 250. Jeremy from Turnaround, where are you? You get better with practice. So best thing I can tell you to do is find some other folks to ride with. And once you start following people, because that's how I got better at riding. When I had my motorcycle in Pennsylvania, I used to only ride on highways. When I moved down to Maryland and I brought my motorcycle down to Maryland, there were so many back roads and country roads that I would ride that I basically said I had to learn how to ride a motorcycle all over again. Riding on the highway, you're pretty much straight shot, fast as you can go, ducking behind some cars and like tuck down. When you're on the back road and you actually have to shift your weight to one side or to the inside of the bike and like trust your tires and look at the speed limit and know you can't go any faster than double the speed limit or the posted speed limit for that particular corner. When I say I learned, man, I learned. And there's nothing like scraping your peg on a corner or scraping your I won't say your boot, but like your shoe on the corner, and it scares the hell out of you. From experience. Race down the hill. Jeff, it comes with the territory. I'm I'm the same way about names. Like I have a habit about trying to remember people's names. I usually try to associate something with someone's names, but I try. I don't get it right all the time. There are times like Jeff, not Jeff, John. He lives over on the Eastern Shore. I know, you know, he does. He's got his license plate on his truck is Brisket, and when I saw him in the comments, and I'm like, yo, I know you from Instagram. I'm like, hold on, what's your name? Because I know that I know I'm gonna bump into him. There's just no way I can't. He lives too close for me not to. This tattoo was gone. Wow. Caden says he has a friend whose dad was in a motorcycle wreck and his tattoo was gone. Jeez. Man in a wheelchair. Alright, so Jeff lives out in Colorado. What's up with y'all West Coast folks? Midwest, West Coast folks. Nothing wrong with that. Well, Lou, it's a double-edged sword, man, because it depends on if you can do lane splitting, then the congestion isn't a big thing because you can get ahead of it. But yeah. Lou says he belongs in the country. Not necessarily. Just cook the rabbit. A rabbit? Man. Jeff says he broke a wrist on a jump because he clipped the rabbit on his YZ100 and he had to shift with his forearm. So I had shoulder surgery, orthoscopic shoulder surgery. And after like 3 days or 4 days in the house, I was cooped up and I couldn't take it. My now wife came to my house and we went out for Rita's. We went out for water ice, and I insisted on driving. There was no way I wasn't gonna drive. I drove a Isuzu Amigo at the time, and it was a 5-speed manual transmission. And I set the seat so far forward that I shifted with my wrist. So you said you shifted with your forearm. I shifted with my wrist because I couldn't move my arm. I couldn't put my arm out enough to have my arm extended. I was sitting so far forward that I was able to shift with my wrist. Yeah. Caden, I'll take your word for it. Jay, I understand, man. I've had phone calls while doing a live stream too, and it just kind of cuts out the live stream. Tyler says he loves the country, close to the city for good business. You're actually right. Paul, okay. I'm going to try to remember that. I cannot guarantee that I'm going to remember it, but I'm going to try to remember it, Paul. Jeff, I understand. I won't speak it. You know, we won't embarrass you again. Hey, Caden, have a good one. So Caden says good night, Mr. and Mrs. Dash.
Good night.
All right, Caden, have a good one, sir. Have a good day in school tomorrow. Make good choices tomorrow. All right, make good choices. Joe, so Jay, somebody was talking about that recently, about the fact that in order to do a live stream, you have to have 1,000 subs now. And that is because folks keep doing dumb stuff on the live streams to try to get, noticed, basically. Question J says, eat Fruit Loops, Caden. Yeah, I did hear someone talk about that recently. They were talking about the fact that you have to have 1,000 subscribers in order to do a live stream. But, it's one of those things where that first 1,000 subscribers it can be no joke. And as I'm thinking about it, let's see what the number is. Earlier today it was 9141, so we're at 9148. Yeah, we're getting closer to 10,000. Yeah, Jeff, I hear you. Don't be mad about it, man. It's coming, dude. Your videos, They're funny. They're good. Just make longer videos for people what's going on. All right. Well, so what you have to do, Jay, is just you'll have to actually record and put it together and then put the stuff online. It's one of those things where it's incentivizing you to get 1,000 subscribers. All right. Jay, exactly. Jay says, let's get to 1,000 subscribers. Exactly. Definitely. You guys know I do my part. I've definitely shouted each of your channels out, talked about each of your channels on the live streams and and such. Jeremy, yeah, man. You, Jeremy, can join other Jeremy in making videos. Definitely. Oh, wow. Time out. I said it was 91.49 or 91.48. It's actually 91.52 if it refreshed. It's not a problem, man. You know, somebody help me out, and there's nothing for me to try to help you guys out too. Shrek. All right, so Quester J, who is Jason, says, you know, I'm Jason, by the way. He said, but everyone calls me Shrek. He dressed up as Shrek for years. So much fun scaring the crap out of kids. Lots of free candy from dropped bags. Oh, Jay, I know. Look, see, my problem, and this is one of the things I'm going to have to deal with now, is I used to have more time in the afternoons to get things done. But now with the fact that I have to pick the kids up from school and then take my son to baseball practice at least 2 nights a week, and usually those 2 nights are Monday and Tuesday that I'm taking him to baseball practice. Usually my day to cook would be Tuesday and sometimes Wednesday. I would try to cook on Tuesday so that I could edit on and have Tuesday evening and Wednesday all day to edit. But that's just not the case much anymore. And I find myself trying to film things on Wednesday sometimes and then trying to edit Wednesday night so that things can go up on Thursday. And it's just not conducive. Danny, how you doing? Quester J is from playing World of Warcraft. Yeah. Jeff says that's why he likes barbecuers so much. They really do support each other. Yeah, man, we are a family here. You guys are our friends of mine. My life is sad. Eric says his life is sad. He just realized he's eating all his niece's sour bright crawlers, cherry and grape popsicles, and cherry and grape popsicles. He said they're going to kill him. See, the good thing is you have a vehicle. Maybe you can go and replace them before they notice. I mean, just, you know. Then you can get some for yourself too while you're at it. Then you won't have to eat theirs. Jeff says he's been on third shift the last few weeks and then messed up his whole cook schedule. Yeah, I tell you, you know, one of the good things is if I do a cook on a Saturday or a Sunday and the cook spans, you know, where I have an hour's worth of footage and I can take that hour's worth of footage and break it down into like 2 15-minute videos, then those are my 2 videos for the week, and then it doesn't, you know, impact the upload schedule. But at the same time, sometimes I feel like I'm phoning it in when I take a longer video and I cut it up into 2. So, but there's some of you guys who will sit and watch a 30-minute video or watch a 30-minute video over a day or a couple of hours versus people who really only want to watch a 5-minute video. So I kind of have to be mindful of both, and I'll try to max out videos at, like, if it's a If it turns out to be like a 30-minute video edited, I'm gonna break it down into 2 50-minute videos. If it turns out to be like a 20-minute video edited, then I'll leave it as is. Usually I find that people who are interested in, and those of you guys who watch and comment, you know, who don't need that little thing where I pop up that says, if you didn't leave a comment, did you really even watch? You know, with the whole I watched hashtag. Some of you guys don't need that. Other of you guys do. And it's fine. Well, Danny says, I know, the brain, don't rub it in, and it's only 7:30 out there in California, as I'm like trying to hold my eyes open because I got up this morning at 4:30, and it is 10:30 now. What says, man, just don't talk about it. So Danny says he just subscribed to Deborah BBQ. I tell you what, you will not be disappointed. Go back and watch the Weber, like the assembly of the Weber. Like that got me. Like I'm hooked, man. You keep doing what you're doing, and you have a subscriber for life. Like I want to be that guy that's like, man, I was in when he had like 9 subscribers, and I was one of the top 9, one of the first 9 subscribers to his channel. Like that's what I want. Lou, thank you very much for hanging out. Good stuff, definitely. Lou says, deuces to you and the missus. Have a great night. Look, she is fading over there. It's past her bedtime.
I shouldn't be up this late.
She should not be up this late. She has to get up. Oh no, yeah, you gotta get up extra early tomorrow too. Brian says he's from the Bay, Oakland, baby. Yeah. Los Angeles. Jenkins, Wisconsin yesterday. Did a video. Said the snow was melted. So it's grilling season. Of course, it's snowing out there. We're supposed to get 4 to 6 inches. He's in Wisconsin. My wife was just talking earlier about the fact that, so taste tester number 3, my daughter was wanting to wear a skirt to school tomorrow for her uniform. They have like a winter uniform and a summer uniform. And she's like, all right, it's time to wear the summer uniform. And my wife was like, no, it's not warm enough for that just yet. And she brought up the fact that it was snowing somewhere in the country. She couldn't remember. So Jeff, sorry, brother. He just said he's getting 4 to 6 inches of snow right now. Gosh, in April. In April! Nah, man. Danny is funny. He says, I know this is your time here, Dash, but is there any others, or are there any others that can use a sub? So if you haven't already, subscribe to Jay's Brappin Barbecue, or it's Jay's Brappin Barbecue 84. Deborah Barbecue is another one that I highly recommend. Let's see, who else? So Kirk doesn't put up stuff. In the beginning of the stream, there was Rob Perez. Subscribe to his channel, and Jeff from Out of Order Barbecue. Subscribe to his channel. Those are the ones that I can remember off of the top of my head. Sorry if I didn't mention you or if I forgot. I'm impressed you got up without making any noise. Yeah. She's getting old and she's tired. See, again, I'm talking about you because you're right here.
Old and tired. Thank you. Self-esteem. Glad I got my own.
She's got her own. All right. Hey, you know what? While you're up, can I have some water? Please? Let's see. Jeff from Turnaround Barbecue says he's subscribing to everyone in the chat. He said, well, he's trying to anyway. Yo, so I agree with Jay. Jay says Dad Broke is a funny comedian doing barbecue. His videos are dope. I agree. Like he's got his own style, man. Definitely. One of the things I like about your videos, and this is one of the, like a piece that you can kind of keep in your back pocket. I know I've talked about it before, but YouTube favors videos that are longer than 11 minutes. Okay, that are 11 minutes or longer, and those recaps push you over that 10 to 11 minute video mark. Oh my goodness. Hey, Eric, man, thank you very much. Baracho Barbecue. Be easy, sir. Brian says, shoot, I don't know, Brian. Every 6 months, there's a new scandal happening in Baltimore, be it the cops, the mayor, the cops, drugs, shootings, the cops. There's always something going on in Baltimore. Yes, I have been to Kansas City. So I've been to Gates. I've been to Oklahoma. Well, is it Oklahoma Joe's? Just Joe's. Arthur Bryant's. Let's see. Jack Stacks, Farrell, Jack Stacks. Like, there's a bunch of places in Kansas City that I've been to. We were in Kansas City, so we were by the convention center, and we went to this place called Peachtree or Peach Street. It was like a soul food spot. Man, it was so good. And then there was a Mexican spot too that we went to that was really good. So it wasn't all barbecue while I was out in Kansas City. But when I was in Kansas City, I was at the old post office. I was at the IRS Service Center there in Kansas City. Kirk says no YouTube for him, but feel free to hit his Instagram. Stop squeezing your meat, man. I know it was something I wanted to tell you. Stop it. We talked about that before. And we talked about it, and you did it on the last video. I said I was not going to comment on the picture, but I was going to let you know, stop squeezing your meat. Yeah. Just Jeeps and guns. Nothing wrong with that, Quester J. It was at that moment he knew. Can you smoke on a Weber kettle? Yes. You would have to use something like the Minion method or get one of those slow and sears. Excuse me. Also, you would have to try to have at least a 22.5 inch grill as opposed to the 18 inch. The 18 inch is just too small. Yep, because and the whole thing is the reason why you cannot, or it's a little more difficult to smoke on a kettle. And Jeff says he has 3 of them, and they take a little monitoring. But once you have it down, then it can cook great. I agree, because of the lower capacity to put charcoal in them. It's usually they require a lot more maintenance. Look up Cha-Cha Chili's and Korean Mexican fusion food that came out of Triple D. All right. No, I didn't, Kirk. Man, I was cursing you out. Because we talked about that. We talked about that, dog. In a few weeks, she's doing brisket using slow and steer on the kettle. Oh, yeah, buddy. Started smoking on a 14-inch, $15 cheap grill from the market, man. Look, everybody's got to start somewhere. The fun guns. No problem, Jerry. Thank you very much for watching. I definitely appreciate you guys watching. So I know there's only a couple of you guys here on the live stream currently. If you haven't already, please do hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. I told you guys, or I talked to you guys earlier, and let you know that not only does it help these live streams, it helps my channel. It also just makes me feel really good. I know better. I like to work smarter and not harder, Jeff. Jeff says he likes cooking on the cheap stuff. It's more challenging. Get that, man. I ain't got time to be pulling out the lack of, the rest of my hairs and turning more of my hairs and my beard gray. No, sir. You got that one. Go ahead and film yourself doing one of those challenging cooks on the $15 grill, like Jay said, from the market, like the flea market. Yeah, you're right. But there are times when I'm cooking for myself. I don't always cook, for someone else. There are times when I am just cooking for myself. Like the video that's coming out tomorrow was a portion of a longer cook, and I didn't want to bore you guys with the rest of the cook. You guys pretty much excuse me, you guys have pretty much seen what I cooked tomorrow already. So I just talked about the main point that I wanted to talk about. I think you made the best ribs. Hey, Preston, thank you very much, man. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, dude. I appreciate you hanging out. Definitely get the best to the kids and the missus. Shoot, I already know. It's crazy, Jeff. I'm thinking like, man, do I want to go ahead and... The worst part is the camera that I replaced new on Amazon was $450. I got a check from SquareTrade for $450 for my camera. So I put that directly into the new camera. The new camera, I mean, it's great and all, but I'm not using the 4K on it that it's capable of filming in. And when I film at 120 FPS, to me, when I'm watching the footage back, it's grainy. And now, if I'm just doing a clip that I know I'm going to slow down, so if I take a shot and it's like 5 seconds worth of something, excuse me, and this is me talking about this, and I'm by no means very technical with the camera stuff, but when I have something at 120 FPS, it just does not look good when I'm playing it at, and I think now that I'm talking about it, speaking about it out loud, if I film something at 120 FPS and then I'm watching it at 30 FPS, yeah, it's probably not going to look its best. So I need to slow it down to at least 25% of that, a quarter of that 100% speed. And it'll look, sorry. It's crazy how, as I think about things and talk about them, now it makes a lot more sense. So if I take that 120 FPS and I slow it down to 25%, then that means I'm actually, at that 30 frames per second. And yeah, it probably would look pretty good. Even if I slowed it down to 50%, that'd be 60 frames a second, basically. And it would probably still look pretty good. Interesting how I think about it. Nah, Question J, that doesn't hurt. I mean, each like helps. Each like helps. This laptop, let's see with the camera. Ooh. I can't afford the A6500. Plus, it won't fit in my pouch or my pocket on my belt. Did I try 24 instead of 30? I've been messing with the settings. Like, I haven't quite figured out, but so on the old camera, I was shooting in the AX VD HD. I don't know. 4K is definitely a hug. What'd you say? Jerry says he needs the best baked bean. It's crazy. So that event that I did at the school, I took some of those brisket trimmings and we put them in some baked beans. I did not make mention about those baked beans. I didn't. You could kind of see them on my plate. I put the brisket on top of the brisket beans. Yo, those beans are so good. I might have to get a can of beans, and next time I make some brisket, just put some brisket into those beans again because it was phenomenal. It was so good. Yeah, Jay, I can't do that because, so, this is my camera. It stays on my hip. So when something happens, boom, and I can, whoop, and I can film. So this is the camera, and then this is the tripod. This is my mini tripod, and usually I'm like this, and then I'm ready to film. So if I'm like vlogging type, you know, talking about, like if I'm opening the video, this is what the go-to position is, and it's just enough. Like you guys can't really. Oh, let's put you back a little bit further. Up. All right. So this is arm's length. Okay, just about arm's length. There is a slight bend, but when I put the camera out at arm's length, you know, it's just enough. The focal point is just small enough where you would think I have a wider lens. But that is what I need. I don't need a separate body and lens. I can't handle that, man. I'm irresponsible. I'll go to pull out my camera and I'll drop the lens and I'm done. I can't do it. I need a point and shoot. That point and shoot puts out videos that are as good, if not better, as some of the bigger equipment. I have a solid state hard drive too. I have a 5 terabyte solid state hard drive. Well, I'm sorry, not solid state, but I have an external. I don't have a solid state on this laptop I have. Actually, oh my gosh, it's horrible. I was contemplating looking into getting another laptop only because the laptop that I have that is less than a year old does not and cannot process 4K video. I don't think so. It's starting to slow down with the videos I'm already throwing at it, so I just know. Oh man. Turnaround Barbecue says he's under a blizzard warning, man. Be safe. Jay, man, you gotta use it for video. So homemade bacon ends in his beans, diced onion, and a splash of barbecue sauce. He says always getting complaints or compliments. Yes, that's exactly it, Jeff. And you know, the trade-off that I have with my camera is there's no place for an external microphone. That's huge because I don't have the ability to put a dead cat on the mic pickup, and you know that is my main bone of contention because I cannot put a dead cat on it, and I have a problem with the wind noise a lot of times. Yeah. My wife is more of a sweet daiquiri, but she's more of a pina colada. Like, she likes pina coladas and coconut. I don't like coconut. And if I'm drinking a sweet drink, it's got to be a daiquiri for me. We're not real big wine drinkers, and the wine that we did drink, it was called the Corzorzo, and it was a sweet wine. It was a like slightly effervescent, sweet wine, and we liked that pretty good. It was called oh gosh, I haven't gotten it in quite a while. I know I could find a Quart if I dug hard enough for one. System for 4K stuff you shot last summer. Well, John, how I saw you put up the monitor mount. I saw that on Instagram today. Dude, you're doing some big things. You want to come and remodel my bathroom? I figured, Kurt. Yes, I need a laptop to edit with the point and shoot. So with the point and shoot, I have to take the video files off of the camera and I save them to my external hard drive, and then I do the editing there. One of the things that slows me down is I have an external hard drive. Like I used to edit on my older laptop, but then it got to the point where the laptop was full of videos. And I wasn't slowing down with the videos, so then I started throwing them on an external hard drive. Well, I would do the videos on my laptop, and then I would save them. I have a network attached storage above my head. I have 12 terabytes in that network attached storage, and it has like every backup of all of the videos. But with the portable hard drive I have, every now and again, like certain videos that are rendered and they're like 1 gig to 3 gigs each, I will delete the rendered video, but I will keep the video editing software file so that if I need to re-render the video, I can. But a lot of the barbecue videos, like whenever I do one of those little pieces where I call back that video from, like when I was talking about getting wood delivered from my arborist, I went back and I pulled that video that was already rendered and I dropped it into the video that I was using, I was editing, and then I edited that video that was already rendered, and it makes it easier for me to do different things as opposed to finding that raw file, going out. The only bad thing, the only problem is if I have music in the old rendered video, sometimes I'll have to deal with that. Using iPhone, nothing wrong with using that phone. Yep, exactly. All right, Questa J, I appreciate that, sir. The P.O. box is down in the description in all of the videos. But if you want to grab a pen or a pencil, I can tell you what the P.O. box is. So I do have some tape on dead cats, and actually, hold on one second, I'm gonna show you. So, kick the power cord there. I've been in the Sony DSC ecosystem for quite a while, and I've been on the same point and shoot form factor for quite a while. This camera, I think I got this camera. This is this camera is number like 5. This camera was number 2. Okay. So Jeff, this is what you're talking about. Okay. I have some of these, but the problem is the mic on this particular camera was not forward facing. It was in the back. So basically, as you're pointing out, you can talk, and you can, because the mic is directional, it would pick up what you were saying as you were talking. So when I would turn the camera around like this and I would talk, the volume or whatever I was saying, it would suffer slightly. With the newer cameras, okay, there's my left and there's my right. Hopefully you can see that and it's not too. All right, focus on here. So that's where the microphone is there. Now the problem with that is my flash, okay? So in order for me to try to get, like, there's too much stuff up here for me to be able to cover this. This is the power button. This is where I'll open up the flash. The flash pops out from here. And this is so this is right and this is left, okay? So again, here's my flash. And then this on the other side is a viewfinder. This viewfinder, if I pop it open, it turns the camera on. So you can see. Now, when I pull, you have to extend that little piece out. And then as soon as I put my finger here, let's see if I can kind of, yep, see how you can see down in there? That is a true viewfinder. So, but in order for me to close it, now I have to push this back in and then push that down, and I have it set up in the settings to not turn the camera off when I do that. So I can press the power button, But if I'm in a jam and need to turn the camera on quickly, I open up the viewfinder and I have it set up so it turns on the camera. I can close the viewfinder back, and then I have to actually press the record button. I usually keep the camera, come on, in auto mode. Come on. Let's see. All right, I keep it in auto mode because with the auto mode, I can actually use I have it set to move slowly, but the zoom is moving slowly. Okay. I could turn that, you know, Jeff, you know, you have a Sony. You can turn that zoom to be fast or slow. I have it slow. And the reason I have it slow is because if it moves too fast, you can hear it in the video. So I'm like, I wanted to take that out. Yo, y'all talking about focal lengths and stuff like that? I don't know nothing about that. Well, Jack, man, I appreciate you stopping in. I guess, you know, it's funny, we were talking about things you forgot. You forgot to come on a live stream. Hey, Kirk, have a good one, man. But yeah, Jeff, I definitely have had the dead cat. And, you know, it covered up the plate to be able to plug in the HDMI cable. And on this camera, I didn't plug in the HDMI cable like at all. On the bottom, there was a port to be able to hook it up like to a TV or something like that. And also on the bottom is where the SD card was. So usually, in order to get things off, I had to take the SD card out, put the SD card into my laptop, copy the files from the SD card onto my laptop, and then I would, you know, once they were on my laptop, I would edit and pretty much go from there. So, yeah. That's another reason why I don't want separate. Oh no. Jack says his family wants to move back in. So this camera, like I said, this was like camera number 2. I remember when I bought this camera, I vividly remember when I bought this camera. It was like top of the line back when I bought it. And I can't find like a manufacturer date, but this camera has to be, it is probably 7, like I think it predates, no. I started using the other camera in 2017. So that's been, I have the other camera for a year and a half. This one, I think I used it for 3 or 4 years. And it has been through. Like, I used to carry this camera in my pocket on a daily basis, and you guys, oh, there you go. You can kind of see the scratches on the screen, like that mark there is a scratch, permanent scratch on the screen. And the reason why I stopped using this camera is because there was dirt and debris inside of this camera. And that was the whole reason why I returned the other camera that I had, the one before the current one, because it was debris inside the screen. First camera was a Fuji waterproof camera. Well, I don't even know how or why I did. I think it was one of those things where I went to Best Buy years ago and I bought my first Sony camera, and it was a point and shoot camera because I like the small form factor. Again, I never really wanted to have that big camera with the lenses and multiple lenses and stuff like that. Like, I know my limits, I know my limitations, and like I knew, like, if I gotten it, yeah, I probably would have been fine, but I knew it wasn't for me, at least at the time. So I got a point and shoot camera, and then the problem I had with the point and shoot camera that I had from Sony was it was all optical zoom, and optical zoom? Yes, it was all optical zoom. And then once I realized that it got blurry and was noisy. I'm like, all right, well, how do I alleviate that? And I think that's when I stepped up to this one or the one before this one. And it had a, like this same, it's the same G. So this one doesn't say G, this says 4K, but same form factor, basically. These cameras are almost identical. This is the newer one. It's gotten slightly slimmer, but they weigh about the same. This one is a little lighter. Like with the camera and the tripod, it weighs about the same as this one. But the microphones being on top is something. And the big deal, the deal breaker with this camera is this. Okay, the screen flips up, and I can frame things, and I can know what I'm doing. And you guys hear me every now and again, like I try to cut it out when I am going from doing like this and I flip the camera around and I flip the screen up. I try to edit those moments out, but there are times when I just don't. Sometimes it's not worth it. Hey, Fred, thanks. I appreciate that. Did you have a question or a shout or something, make me work for my dollar? Jeez. Yeah, I know how much those 6500s are. You have a 6500 or 6400? Even still, I was telling my wife last night when I realized, the whole, because I put up that video yesterday, and then after I put up the video, Jeff, you and I went back and forth, and we were talking about well, thank you. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that, Fred. But my wife and I were talking about the camera and the limitations. Jeff, you and I talked about it almost all, almost we went back and forth quite a bit yesterday. And I found out, so it is a limitation. And look, that's 2. Man, Fred, when you put those in, oh, he said free super chat from YouTube Premium. He said no questions. All right, well, thank you. I definitely appreciate that. Like, really. I appreciate that, man. Well, look, don't be a stranger. Definitely come into the comments a little more often and say hi. If you have any questions or if anything I can help you with, please feel free to let me know. And it's not just because you gave me $2. It's just because you're here. You're in before 10,000. That's what's, yeah. So, but that's the main thing that, like, once I had this camera, I knew that I needed a camera that had a flip up screen. And once those cameras with the flip up screens became a little more cost effective, I was like, okay, which one am I going to get? Then I got it. And what's crazy is I was telling my wife last night, so this is the newest, latest, greatest camera from Sony, okay? This is the one that came out in 2019. The camera that I got in 2017 actually came out in 2016. The camera number 4, the one that I just sent back to have repaired, camera number 3 came out in 2017, which it was newer than the last camera I had, but it did not have this ring here. There's a ring, and you can use it for focus, and you can use it for selection of different things. It did not have that ring, and I was like, well, I went down to Ocean City, and I had a good enough time, and I made enough money where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take some of the proceeds, and I'm going to spend the extra $100, $150 and get the better camera. And that's what I did, and I enjoyed that camera, and it was great. But each of the cameras has differences and downfalls. So the one major glaring downfall I see in this one so far, the new one, is that I cannot record a video that is longer, or it stops recording in 29 minutes. And Jeff, I talked to you yesterday about this. It doesn't matter if I have it on that 60 FPS, lower frame rate or file type or anything like that. Yeah. There's what? $500 off for afternoon coffee in the past 4 months. I can imagine. Shoot, there's so much stuff and there's so much nuance to these cameras that it's like there's one thing like this camera will be perfect for me if I could just still record videos as long as I needed them to be. On my older camera, it would be like, it would do the video and then it would just like cut to the next video after the video was, and I think it was also because it had a smaller, I won't say window, but that each video was like 10 or 11 minutes long. So if I was doing like what I was doing this past weekend or this past week, it would have been 3 or 4 different files. And I would have just thrown them all into the video editing software and edited them together-ish. So, yeah. He said it's A5000. He says you like it better than the 6500. You know, sometimes it's one of those things where you figure out where the settings are or what the settings are and where things are and what's going on and stuff like that. And it's just easier to go with the new stuff. Rick, how you doing? Man, from Spokane. Sheesh. Goodness. A6500 or the A5000 is a sweet camera. He says, yeah. I thought about it, and you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, do I want to invest in another camera? I can't afford to right now. Yeah. We'll keep recording. If you make a slight change to the zoom a little, just something, unless you know that you didn't, just leave it on. No, it has a limitation on the file. The single file size limit is 29 minutes. Yesterday when Jeff and I were talking, I set up the camera, and as I'm talking to him, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna set it up. He's like, I'm like, hey, I already did it, and I'm like, okay, I'm at 28 minutes. I'm at 29 minutes. I look away. I start doing work, and then boom, it's gone. It's off, and I'm like, damn it. So then I went and then I reduced the file quality. I turned it down to the next lowest setting, and same thing. I was like, oh man, I'm good. Like just at my desk 20 minutes. I'm looking at the thing. I have the camera turned so you can kind of see what I'm doing, because as I am replying to your comments, that's when I had the video set up. Yep. So as I'm commenting, I'm typing in, and I'm like, oh man, I want you guys to see what I do, what I go through when I'm editing, not editing, but I'm replying to comments, right? I'm sitting at my desk, and I have a triple monitor set up on my desk. I have one monitor that is like my productivity extra monitor. I move stuff off to that one when I need to work on it. I have a center monitor, and I have a monitor on the left. The monitor on the left, I have it turned up in the landscape mode, portrait mode rather. Yeah. And I have my email on there so I can kind of see when stuff comes in because it stays open. In the middle is like the workings, so like this for websites where I'm actively reading something or actively inputting something. And then the one on the right is usually where I have YouTube hanging out. So YouTube, I watch, and I don't really watch a lot of videos. I'll say that I usually have YouTube playing in the background, one earbud in, YouTube playing on my right while I'm doing whatever I'm focused on. So the beginning of the month, it's been the beginning of the month, and I've had metrics to do. So I've been Excel spreadsheets on 2 different monitors while YouTube might be playing in the background, listening to a visual podcast type deal. And yeah. So I had all of that going on and had the camera set up on me while I was replying to you guys. And sure enough, 29 minutes and some change, the video, the camera stopped and it shut off, and boom. Yeah. So again, when I was talking to Jeff yesterday, I told him that the reason why they had each camera, and each camera has one feature that's different from the other, and that one feature might cost you an extra $100 or $200, is because if a camera company came out with that perfect camera, then no one would upgrade, or no one would have to be, you know, people would settle and be happy with what they had. And then it wouldn't be necessary to have multiple cameras. It wouldn't be necessary to upgrade or, you know, update software and stuff like that. So man, shoot. Well, Jay, you can use this camera to shoot some pretty decent video photos. I think Jay, you're following me on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure Jeff, you're following me on Instagram. I posted a picture of my car. Like, I hit the odometer reading. It was 123,456 miles, and then I had on a trip 789.0 miles. So when you look at it all together, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 space 789.0. Those pictures were taken on my camera, not my phone. So yeah, the camera takes good pictures for it to be a point and shoot, like surprisingly good pictures. YouTube playing iPads. Yeah, I have a tablet in my line of sight, and you know what's crazy? As of late, I've been using the tablet to try to like keep track of more appointments and writing things on the calendar and doing not really research, but like certain things I can do from the tablet. So on my office, I have two office mates. We went in, we split a TV. So we bought a TV. So the TV sits above my desk, and it's a Roku TV. So I use the tablet to connect to the Wi-Fi at work, which is where the TV is connected. And I use the tablet remote as opposed to actually using the Roku remote. So I leave it for one of the two other ladies that works in my office. Well, a good laptop, and I can tell you from experience that laptop. Chauncey, thank you very much. I gotta get up in the morning too, man. I'm fading fast. I'm getting ready to go to sleep. Trust me. So getting the Chromebook. The Chromebook will not handle video. It's just not going to do it. Again, you know how everybody has their things. I loathe Apple, so I couldn't tell you jack squat about Apple. And I have had HP laptops for the last 10 years. Same thing with the Sony cameras. You know, once you get to the point where you know what you like, it's easy because you know what you want, because you know what you like. And that's pretty much how I've been working with it. So, but look, I am fading as well. I want to say thank you so very much again, as always, for hanging out with me. Apple is so you guys who have been here later in the live streams know I have a pretty decent sized music repository. And the reason why I don't like Apple is because when I looked into doing iTunes, it was going to create a copy of my music so that it could encrypt it, or, you know, put it behind something and change the file format. So I was going to have a duplicate copy of my files. And I'm like, yo, I already have like 600 or 700 terabytes of music. So now you want to make a copy of it? Why would I do that? Like, that's stupid. So I was like, nope, this is dumb. And then once I realized that, oh, Apple wants to take the music that you already have in MP3 format and convert it to a MP MP4 or M whatever or M4P or whatever their file system was, so they can encrypt it, and they would make a copy of it. I'm like, oh no, hell no, I'm not going through all that. No. And I just, like, once I started looking deeper and deeper into it, I'm like, man, this is crazy. Apple is taking music that you already own and they're locking it down so you can't do anything with it, and you can only play it through their system. Nah, I'm good. I'm like, yeah, nope. I was like, no way. No way. I was like, that's asinine. Like, what sense does it make to take music that I already have and make a copy of it and then lock me out of that copy? Yeah, all right, Apple never gets a virus. The whole thing is there's no PCs that are not locked down that, shoot, that's Lord Ramsey. Man, it was crazy. I was just over there today. Just past there. But anyway, I'm going to call it. I want to say thank you guys again for hanging out. Forget that. I'm not chained to Apple. You must use Apple for work, I guess. So, roundabout saying, do you do video editing? Do you do video work at work, Jeff? Well, thanks. Appreciate that, Jeff. Definitely do. Oh, all right. I was like, man, this guy must work in video editing. Like I said, I am definitely impressed with your video editing skills. What software are you using? Maybe I need to jump on it and try and figure out. Negotiator for utilities. Huh. Okay. I'm sure you probably are like, okay, well, what does that mean? I'm not going to ask that question. I'm just not. Okay, he works for a utility company. All right. So, printing company. All right. So you're into graphic design. Is that where the Apple comes in? No problem, Jack. Hey, thank you guys. Jack, Betty, you guys have a great evening. Have graphics. All right. You can always tell the graphic designers. You guys and your Apple computers. Nah. Yep, there it is. So Final Cut Pro X is a Apple product. See, I knew it came full circle. I hear that Final Cut Pro is crazy easy to edit with. GIS. Something about information systems or information systems, or government information systems. Yeah. Geospatial or spatial. Okay. Okay. Well, learn something new every day. I don't have my glasses on, so the text and me reading the screen is a little difficult. Oh, there they are. Spatial. That's what I said. I'm like, I know. I've been there, done that. But you see why I take my glasses off, because you'd be looking at nothing but reflections all night long if I kept them on. My laptop is right here, and the light above me is above me. So that's why I take my glasses off. But yeah. Oh my gosh, guys. It has been almost 2.5 hours. Oh, can't say thank you guys enough again for hanging out. I really do appreciate you guys, hanging out. It means a lot that you give up an hour or so, 2 hours. I know, man. You hang up. No, you hang up. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. You hang up. You go ahead and leave the chat. But yeah, man. So I'm out. Knowledge. What knowledge, man? I just tell you about stuff I've done. That's not knowledge. That's just telling you about my experiences. Caden went to bed already. He had to get up early and make his Frosted Flakes. So baby's on Tinder trying to find a new girlfriend. Well, probably can't because he's too young. But all right, thank you guys again, and